Hey folks, welcome in.
Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Super excited to have you here for our last webinar. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
And we'll
Thank
get
you.
started right on time if that's good with everybody.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. All right. So, hi, I'm Rachel. I'm Director of Marketing for Classkick. Happy to see all of you guys again for webinar 6. We're going to start out with just some quick housekeeping. Basically, we are so glad that you're here. And a reminder that chat is viewable and chattable to panelists and the host, which is me. But don't worry, if you ask a question, we will see it, we will respond. But everybody else won't see that question in chat. So if you want to do questions that might benefit everyone, please put that in our Q&A section, which is a little tab at the bottom. And then we will be able to answer all of those questions or answer them live at the end. There will be a survey shared during this webinar via the chat feature that you will all see. We are on webinar 6, our final webinar of the series. We do have a giveaway that is being announced at the end. We'll announce them tomorrow for our last 2 webinar prizes, the Stanley Cup. And we'll ask you to respond within 48 hours to give us your messaging back. And then finally, if you're missing any recordings, please first check that hi@classkick.com is not blocked or in your spam. And second, if you don't see it there, please just email either rachel@classkick.com or hi@classkick, and I will make sure to get you all of those webinar recordings in one single doc as a follow-up. And I will pass it back to Katie.
Awesome. Thanks, Rachel. All right. So excited to have you guys here. Thank you so much for joining us for our final webinar of the season. I'm sure we'll do more of these because they've been super successful. We've had so many people say that it's been so helpful. So be on the lookout for some more, I'm sure, coming soon. But today we're going to talk a little bit about Classkick. First, I'm just going to introduce Classkick. In case you are new, if you have not tried Classkick or if you haven't been to one of our webinars yet, Classkick is a digital tool that teachers use in their classrooms with their students. It allows them to put their own curriculum, and it's any curriculum you want. So if you're a reading teacher, a math teacher, ELA, anything. I mean, even if you're teaching all of the subjects, if you're elementary all the way through high school can use Classkick and put their materials right into it. And then there's a lot of really great tools that teachers love in Classkick to help them with their students and giving them immediate feedback. Teachers can see students working in real time, so it gives them that real-time visibility. So there's just a lot of really great benefits to Classkick. If you have not tried it yet, you can always go to classkick.com and sign up for a teacher account. And then if you are someone who's been using it for a long time, this is a great spot for you to be as well because there's always something new to learn about Classkick. So today our whole webinar is going to be about keeping your students learning beyond the classroom. So really thinking about like summer times, and kind of keeping them engaged and learning and extend their learning even past the school year. So we're going to talk a lot about scavenger hunts, virtual field trips, how to keep them learning and exploring during the summer, and then we're going to just have some tips on how to kind of finish out your year strong here in Classkick. So I'm super excited to introduce to you the Classkick coaches today that are leading our webinar. We have Shannon and Braylee, and both of them are real classroom teachers. Like they are teachers in the work field just like you. They're not hired by Classkick. They do not work for Classkick, but they just really love it and they get to be Classkick coaches. So they get to share all about Classkick with you guys. So I'm super excited. They can introduce themselves and what they do, but they're going to go ahead and kick it off. So Shannon, I'll turn it over to you first.
Great. Thank you so much for having us tonight. Um, so I'm going to start with showing just kind of how to do some mixed practice, that sort of thing, the enrichment over the summer. And let me share that screen. Okay. So I in a virtual setting full time. I teach third grade virtual math, and just kind of some ideas for over the summer. I kind of am thinking through, what can I give my students that would help them to practice over the summer to kind of keep those skills up so they don't have as much as the summer slide. So I'm putting together, and this I kind of started with the AI feature that we'll talk about in a little bit on this to kind of put together just some enrichment slides that students could work on over the summer. And if you especially set it for it to automatically check, you don't necessarily have to check in as often to see it. And if you turn that feature on, then they will be able to see their if they got them correct. If not, then they can kind of work through those. So this is just kind of a mixed bag of different types of problems that they could be working on. Again, I teach third grade, so addition, greater than, less than, subtraction, those sorts of things. And again, just kind of working through. Some of the fun things, also, I think I put a reading in here. So there are some word problems, and there's space for them to work those out and kind of show their work or draw them out. You can always put pictures on here, that kind of thing, for them to manipulate and move around and show. And I have some of those at the end. Um, so I like this one's kind of fun. It has when I taught fifth grade, I used this one for coordinate planes, and they can move these to the correct place on the number line, those kinds of things. Just kind of fun things that you can make. But again, they would have to put in the location for star one. So we see that's over one up two. So they would have to put in one, two, and it shows them that they have it correct. So again, practice that they could do over the summer, just on the things that you've done throughout the year, the things that they tend to forget more about, those kinds of things. So also, word problems, kind of putting those in, again, to put in the answers, and they can check those as they go through as well. And I think the last one. This one was kind of fun. We were looking at time this year and just looking at some of the manipulations that you can do where you move we were talking about s'mores. It was kind of a fun camp theme that week, and moving the word for the time as well as the actual time over to the clock, and just having them, it's manipulation, it's moving things around. They're kind of having fun with it. But again, it's that simple review for them. Um, the next thing that I wanted to talk about was the virtual field trips. So if you go into your virtual field, or sorry, your Classkick account, and you click the arrow that's up here on the left side, you'll see that there are templates and libraries. So there's a lot of lessons that have been worked on and put in by the Classkick coaches. And you can always put in different things that you want to talk or, teach about, have review, that sort of thing. And if you put it on the public library, and we can type in, sorry, my computer's a little slow. And if we type in field trip, there are two field trips that are already in there, virtual field trips to take. This can be used at the end of the school year, those days when, you're kind of trying to fill in things for fun things to do, as well as just throughout the year. Like I said, we're virtual, so virtual field trips, we get out to actual field trips 4 times a year, but the virtual ones can also be fun for them to do. And you can click on these, and if you copy the assignment into your account, it is then yours to be able to do with what you want. So you can change this over to whether it's, something in your state, in your area. There's different things that you can put in. You could use these as a guide, to kind of a starting point, types of questions, those kinds of things to work through. But they're great for, kind of learning about your different area and kind of seeing the different features that are on each type of Classkick. You see here, there's an audio, so you can listen to what's written there, as well as putting them in alphabetical order. So just different fun things for students to work on. I was kind of having fun looking through these myself. Um, Kind of fun different pictures. And again, if you use this as kind of a template, it's fun to then use it to do something for your state or something that's near you. So just a couple of different fun things to look at, field trips, as well as just the library in general. There's a couple hundred assignments, I think, at this point in there that the coaches have worked on and worked hard to put together, that are fabulous. So just it's a couple of things to look through.
Alrighty. Okay, I'm Braylee. I am also a fully virtual teacher. I teach sixth grade math in Oklahoma. And so that's also living in that virtual environment. I do try to stretch out every once in a while outside of my math world and think about how this can affect other subjects since I have taught math my whole career. So I tried to think back on like what were some of the things that my teachers gave me over the summer growing up. And so I thought it would be so fun if you guys did like a summer reading log in here and you could set this up with whichever columns you wanted them to track information on. I know one of like my middle school teachers, she wanted us tracking pages. We had to read a certain amount of pages each 9 weeks, so that could be something that you track. I went ahead and put the boxes in this one, but you don't have to do that with your students. You could have just left this completely blank, and then the students can add their own text boxes so that they can customize the font and the font color and the size and all of that on their side. They would still be able to customize the size of their text if you give them these fill in the blank boxes. Another thing that is really fun, you could have some like book summary slides. So again, just kind of getting more in depth of having them discuss information about the book they actually read. And then I have some slides from my personal reading tracker. So I made things like manipulatives where you could have the students click and drag their rating of the book. And so I just included like 10 of each of these so that the students could click and drag that, oh, that was a 1-star book for me. And they could fill all of this in. And same thing, like they could put an image of the cover of the book and put whatever information that you want them to fill in. So that way you can work on just straight reading, reading comprehension, looking for plot or main characters, or if you guys focus on protagonists and antagonists and anything like that, you could put things like that in there. Shannon touched on it just a little bit ago, but we are going to look at the AI Create a little bit. So up here in this Create New, you can choose this AI assignment Create, and it gives you this little field right here. So happy that it kept my stuff filled in for me. I had it on copy paste ready to go. But I'm going for today to show you guys an example. If I wanted to create this prompt is creating a dream vacation. And so I want my students to have to look at food and travel and hotel and excursions and anything else that would be a part of their dream vacation. And I specifically want it to focus on integers and decimal operations, because those are big things in 6th grade in Oklahoma. So as you're going through, if there's anything you wanted to upload as a file, you can upload those as well, and this AI will analyze that information to be able to help cultivate more specifically what you're looking for. You can select what grade level you want it to be leveled for, and then how much time you want your students to spend on this topic. So that'll add more or less slides depending on how much time you want them to spend. If you have a specific curriculum you want it tied to, you can choose that. If not, you could just click none. And then you can select many questions if you want it to be lots of discussion. I do, we do, you do, stuff like that, or something else. I just went ahead and did many questions so that way I get fill in the blanks, multiple choice, all the different varieties. And then anything else, I just made sure to say match it to Oklahoma standards. And it gives you a little screen here that says to verify, and you'll hit looks good and it will start generating. Once it generates, you will get a screen that looks like this, and it allows you to click through and kind of get a preview of what the slides look like that AI created. And if there's something that you're like, oh, I just really don't like that, or I want more of this instead of that, you can chat with it right here and add more. And then it will go back and analyze and regenerate that lesson. Once you are completely finished, you can hit create assignment, And then it adds this into your assignment library so that you have the actual assignment. Of course, with anything AI, you want to go back through and double check everything and make sure grammar is correct and answers are correct and everything is where you want it to be. And like Shannon said, you can add fun pictures and images and change text colors and do all of the things to make it your own. But this is at least a starting point. So this is one that, given that same prompt, this one is with just decimals. I had it go through. It did give me this beautiful, fancy Treasure Island vacation image here, but it did go ahead and give me some fill in the blank, some multiple choice. I could go through and delete certain questions, remove certain questions. Like on this one, on several of these, like my blank was way over to the side. So that's stuff you just want to double check and make sure to click and drag in here. But once you've done that quick preview, this is ready to go. And you can assign this to your students and they would get immediate feedback on all of these questions to be able to practice this assignment over the summer. So awesome with that. So with summer, we also wanted to discuss rostering. Some of you guys are in districts where it's rostered through like ClassLink or Clever or something like that, where your rosters are given to you at the beginning of the school year. If that is the case, we want you guys to just be aware your students may lose access over the summer, but you still have the ability to come in here and create your own roster. So you could even call it like summer students or something like that, or summer with Miss Abear or whatever you want to do. And then you can add all of your students, whether it's a basic account portfolio, but you can add all of them in there and they will have access to this over the summer. They can sign in just typing their name or however you set that up for them so that they do not lose access to your material over the summer. Another big thing over the summer or at the end of the school year is that if you are not rostered through Clever or some other wonderful magical thing that makes your students appear and disappear, you need to go hide your rosters at the end of the year. So when you come into rosters and co-teachers, you can come in and check this little box and it will hide that. If you don't do that, next year, when your students log into Classkick, they will still be able to see all of your assignments and now any additional teachers' rosters that they have been added to. So we want to keep that clean for students and go ahead and hide it. If you accidentally hide it or need to go look at student work, you can still do that by using this little Dropbox icon at the top. This lets you see any of your previous rosters, and if you click into them, you have all of those assignments, all of the student work is there, and you can still see all of that information. All right, I think that's pretty much all I've got. Were there any general questions from the audience?
All right, we had a couple questions here. Somebody asked, sometimes I search my library and find lesson I like. It will not allow me to use it, just only preview, but they have a pro account. So I just directed them that there's the copy button in the corner that might get missed, but maybe one of you could show where that is and what that looks like. That would probably be helpful to see the visual
Sure.
of that.
I've still got mine pulled up, so I can
Okay,
pull that.
perfect. Thank you.
I just didn't click it because absolutely, I just didn't click it because I was looking at it. So it's up here in the top right is the copy assignment, and you would click that button, and then it would add it to your dashboard. Takes a few minutes, a few seconds. And there it goes. So let's go to the Texas State Aquarium. It's right there. And you would just click on it and then you would be able to, the description is already up here for you with the standards based on Common Core. And then you could make your additions, subtractions, and that sort of thing that way.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you so much. Somebody else asked about getting the AI features since they don't have access now. If you would please either type in the chat your email or in the Q&A, or you can also send me an email. It's just katie@classkick.com. It's a weird spelling. It's KAITY@classkick.com. And you can just email me and just let me know you want that turned on for you. We can get that turned on. Right now, we are rolling out just the student helper for our webinar attendees, and but we will eventually have assignment create as an option as well. So just let us know if that's something you want when it's available. That would be great. We also have a survey. Awesome. Okay, I see a couple people in the chat here. Thank you. I'll get you guys added to that list. We also have a survey in the chat, so please click that survey link and let us know your thoughts on the webinar series, on specifically this one, so that we can get feedback for each one. If you've gone to all of them, you can submit that survey all 6 times if you want to give us feedback. But it's just super helpful to know how it was for you, and if it was, helpful. So if you have any other questions, we are happy to hang around for a little bit and answer them for you. Okay, we have someone here that's asking for links to all the sessions. So we'll get on that. We'll get that sent to you. Let's see here. Maybe you could put your email address in the chat as well. That would be great because then we can make sure that we get the right person.
Um, I see in there someone asked, is there a way to see co-teachers' assignments before they open them up to the classroom
Ooh, thank you. I
without them
didn't see
having
that.
to send you a copy? Yes. So if you've been added as a co-teacher to a roster, so like this is a co-taught roster that I have. If you come into the rosters and co-teachers and click on that roster, you can click on any assignment that has been assigned to that roster. So as long as whoever created the assignment has gone ahead and assigned it to that group, even if they have it hidden from the students, you will still be able to click on it. So you can click on it and you will have the edit, student preview, and the view work buttons at the top.
This might be the same person, but they said, is there a way for a co-teacher to organize files without messing up their folders? I don't think that the co-teacher can organize anything.
So, because everything when you go into that roster is going to be alphabetized.
Yep. Alphabetical order.
Yeah,
Yep.
by the lesson title. So if you were to go in there and edit the lesson title, that would change it for whoever created it as well. When the button is on gray mode, is it hidden or is green mode? When it is gray, it is turned off. If you want to hide the lesson from the students, you would want it to be green.
Yeah, that's a good way to explain it.
Yes. You would want it to be turned on that it is hidden.
Excuse me.
Say it again. You would want it to be green. So if you're wanting the hide feature turned on, you would want it green to be on. Because you would want it
You want it
being
hidden.
on that it is hidden. Because if it's If the hide is turned off, then it is not hidden for the students.
I'll share mine and just kind of show an example of that, if that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So here's some of the lessons that I have, and some of them are locked just so students can't go back and work on them after class, that sort of thing for certain things. And you see that they're turned green, that means it's on. And if I wanted to hide this one, I would just click it, and that green means that it is now hidden. So like she said, that it's kind of I kind of think is green is go, it's on. So that would be making those different assignments hidden from students.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you guys. Okay, we have a question here. Um, when will we be able to assign slides to the co-teacher's group? Right now, I have to send to him to add to his roster.
Yes. So
Oh, I
if
see.
yeah, if you were not the creator of that roster, you cannot assign anything from that roster. So like what I do with my team is they are all co-teachers on that main like our sixth grade originals. We're all co-teachers on that. And then my team, they make a copy of that assignment to save it into their personal library, and then they can assign their students to it.
Perfect. Yep. Okay, this one says, is your AI feature like Ask Gemini?
Mm, the student helper, is that what
I'm
they're asking?
thinking, yeah, I'm thinking that's what she's referring to.
It's not, so the AI, the student helper AI is not like just an open AI. It is very much scaffolded and helps the student. It will not directly just give them the answers to questions. So it will analyze what is on your slide, including any audio, pictures, anything like that. And then it will pop open and ask, like, what are you needing help with? Or it looks like you need help with adding fractions, and then it will walk through the steps of how to do that with the student. It won't just outright say your answer is 7/8. Like it won't tell them that. And you can turn that on an individual lesson basis too. You don't have to turn it on for all of your lessons. Someone said save a copy. Yes, so if you open, I'll show how to make a copy of a lesson really quick. So when you open, like let's say this is my co-taught roster. So if I wanted to make a copy of this solving equations lesson, I would click on it to open it. And once it is open, I would click the three dots in the upper right-hand corner and choose to duplicate. And once it has been duplicated, if you have your own folder organization system, like in your personal assignment library, you can do that same option and choose to move to put it in whatever folder you want it to be in. You can also like change the title so that way you know if I wanted to say like, oh, this is my copy. I can say, oh, this is Mrs. Abear's copy. So that way if I were to ever open the other one, I know that's not my copy of the lesson, but now this is in my personal assignment library here. It was like down here somewhere. I probably put it in a folder for me. It actually did put it in a folder for me. Let's see. Anybody else have a question? Green or gray button for PDF. The PDF allows the students the option on their side to download their entire lesson as a PDF. So once they have completed it, if they choose download this as a PDF, it puts anything that they have done on the slides, any stickers that you have added or comments or anything like that, and it downloads it as a PDF with one slide per page.
There's a question in the Q&A. Are there any future plans to enable students to make folders? I completely understand because I do one every day. So by second semester, their dashboard is full. So what I'll go through and do is hide everything from first semester on in the assignments so that the students can't see it. And then when it gets to the end of the semester again, I will start pinning it for the students so that it is the top assignment in their dashboard. And that really helps them to define it, especially if you have the lower grades. Like you said, I think it says first grade. You definitely want to pin those. And my students just got in the habit of, okay, it's the top one. They'll verify with me like which one they had to open, but that pin definitely helps to keep it organized more so.
And guys, unfortunately, we are at time and we are nothing if not a good steward of our times today. So please let me know if you guys need anything else. You can reach us at hi@classkick.com or rachel@classkick.com. And if you've requested those resources, they should have been sent to you already. And y'all have a great day. And thank you again for attending our webinar.